and welcome to another episodic installation of your favorite internet broadcast show. I am here once again to do a program today. Today is Friday. Everybody, does anyone know what Friday means?
Yeah!
Drinking a Monster this morning. And I'm ready to do a show, everybody. So, this is going to be my last show for a little while. I'm going to be taking a vacation for next week. So, I will not be back on Sunday. In fact, I will be back on the Sunday after. So, 8-day vacation. That means you're going to have to watch old shows. Because guess what? I know that most of you haven't watched every single one of these. We got Max the dog here joining us today. Hi, Max. Oh, he's gone. And so there you go. So, there he is. Max the dog, everybody. But welcome to the program. I'm here to do a show. Let me take these off. You get to see too much of the screen in the reflection. Doing a show today. Today is going to be a little bit of a longer show. So I would like, if you have any, to get your cues and your cocks ready for the end of the show today. Because I would like to do a cue cock portion that's a little longer than average. Unless you guys have 0 questions, then I'm out. Then I'm gone. Then the show is average length. So feel free to get your text file open and get some cue cocks, because we're gonna be jumping into that in about an hour. So, we got Home, we got Courtney, Sinkwell, and more on today's show, chat room, broadcast, experiential experiment. So let's start our stream. You ever really think about Republicans? We live in this country where about 20, sometimes 30% depending on what year, what election cycle, identify as Republican voters. That is essentially them telling the world, look at me! I'm the dumbest fucked up freak you've ever met! I'm a Republican! Right? So that's pretty much their way of identifying as the stupidest person in the room. There is no such thing as a smart Republican unless you want to use the relative intelligence. Like, let's say a smart Republican is a Republican that is capable of tying their shoes, right? As opposed to the average Republican that is incapable of doing such a thing. But really, when we think about how fucking stupid Republicans are, which, you know, I think about it often because, wow, man, these guys are fucking stupid. But when we really think about just how dumb, fucking, shit for brains, dumbass motherfucker these Republicans are, you know, sometimes it helps a little bit to have some numbers, some up-to-date numbers, you know, on just how dumb these fuckers are. So I've got this poll, a 2024 presidential primary poll with the Republican base. And let's read some results here. To the extent the Republican primary is a contest at all right now, it looks like it's one between Donald Trump and a sentiment one might call Trump fatigue. And Trump is winning that matchup easily. Here's why. MAGA-sounding ideas are widely held in the Republican electorate, an environment that plays heavily to Trump's advantage. It also doesn't help, or doesn't hurt, that Trump created the current Republican Party. Trump is literally the god of this Republican Party. And when I say that, I mean he is the creator. He created and inspired pretty much every right-wing thought on every subject. He's inspired so many countless conspiracy theories, even going back before he was even president, such as the Barack Obama secretly a Muslim born in Kenya conspiracy. Donald Trump started that one, or at least he brought it to mainstream prominence, right? So again, Donald Trump is in quite literal terms the god of the Republican Party, as in he created the current version of the Republican Party. He is its creator. So the idea... A lot of these fucking people in mainstream media, because they're dumb as shit too, just the different kind of dumb, want you to believe Ron DeSantis. You know, remember when Joe Rogan marched out there like the little puppy dog fucking beta male bitch with his marching orders? I'm really thinking about Ron DeSantis. Ooh, right? Remember when all these Republicans were doing this? By the way, Ron DeSantis still hasn't even announced he's running for president. That guy crashed and burned before he even started his campaign. Now, he might start one anyway, which would be hilarious. After it's already crashed and burned, he might just start it anyway, that might be the funniest shit in the world. But either way, that's a whole different story. Let's get back in here. We got an image here to make reading this data a little more easily, you know, for the audience here. There's a big demand for a candidate who says Trump won. You're not going to get me that easily. Reminder, Joe Biden is the winner of 2020. Donald Trump is the loser. Who challenges woke ideas? Who doesn't criticize Trump? And for good measure, it makes the liberals angry. I love how doesn't criticize Trump. That's a policy stance for the Republican Party. Well, you know, I was really considering voting for this guy, but, you know, he does criticize Trump. And so, you know, he seems like he's good on the woke ideas. He's good on making liberals whine, but he did criticize Trump one time. He said, you know, Trump was a little mean to me, and I don't really think Trump was mean to him. I think Trump said what had to be said, and so, yo, I can't with this fucking shit. All right, so check this out. This is presidential primary for the Republican side. What is motivating them in this next coming election? Okay. %85 say challenges woke ideas. 85% of Republican primary voters, at least according to this YouGov CBS poll, want to challenge woke ideas. Now again, Republicans are about 20, depending on the election, to 30% of the American population. That is, about 1 in 5 Americans are brain dead, dumber than fucking chimpanzees that you find in fucking goddamn Brazil, and I'm talking about literal chimpanzees here, in the rainforest and shit. Right. These motherfuckers are so fucking stupid. They're like Homo erectus, maybe even Neanderthal tier intelligence, right? 85% of the 25% want to challenge woke ideas. Now, real quick here, I'm going to go down to the bottom of this list. 57% want to make liberals angry. Now, first of all, the idea that it's 57% and not 100% leads me to believe that this poll had people that were lying to it, because for a fact that every single Republican is purely and only motivated by triggering the libs. So the idea that this is only 57%, I think that they're lying. I think people lied about that on the poll. But also, what is my evidence for that? Well, if 85% say challenges woke ideas, what does that mean? What does it mean? Woke ideas. What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. It basically just means trigger the libs, right? So only 57% want to trigger the libs, but 85% want to trigger the libs. It's the same question. But again, you need to understand that Republicans are so fucking dumb that they hear challenge woke ideas and make liberals angry, and they see two different things. Like, they genuinely, it's like if you had access to, the fucking ultraviolet spectrum of light in your eyeballs, right? Like, they go outside and they see wokeness. Wokeness. There's wokeness. Oh, God, there's woke. They don't even call it wokeness, by the way. They call it woke. Like in Florida, Ron DeSantis had the Stop Woke Act. Not Stop Wokeness, which would be grammatically a correct way to use your made-up word, but it's Stop Woke. So they go out there and they go like, I see woke out there. Oh, is that woke? Oh my God, is that? I think I've seen it. I gotta put my reading glasses on. Is that? I think you said something woke. Is that? Betsy, come get the camera. I think I see woke out there. Again, I need you to understand, Republicans are so fucking stupid, they really don't even know what they even want. 85% want to challenge woke ideas. Doesn't mean anything. 57% want to make liberals angry. The only possible benefit of challenging woke ideas is making liberals angry, because the woke ideas don't fucking exist. There is no CRT in fucking school. No one is transgendering the kids. This is all made up fucking garbage, right? So the only thing that they could be doing when they're combating this made up garbage is to do so to trigger the libs, but only 57% of them want to make liberals angry. What does that mean? Well, I don't know, angry maybe is too harsh of a term. Maybe the Delta just want to make liberals slightly aggrieved. 57% want to make them angry, right? But the rest of them, they just want to tick them off a little bit. That's the only thing I can think of to make sense of those two things. But let's go. 66% oppose gun restriction. Now, the thing about that is that it's pretty low. Given a Republican primary electorate, only 66% oppose gun restrictions. I'm serious. I would figure that shit to be 90, 95%. I guess a couple of Republicans had their fucking best friends get shot and killed over at Hooters. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're getting a little fucking pissed off at these guns. I don't know. 61% they want somebody to lead them in the 2024 election who denies the results of the 2020 election. This is some fucked up shit. Again, it's hard to tell how much of this is accurate. It's also, especially because Republicans, again, they're like wild animals. You ever watch those fucking nature documentaries and you see fucking, You know, they just pick random celebrities to do like voiceover on some shit. Like I watched this one on Netflix with Bryan Cranston in it. You know, check that one out. I forget what it's called because they're all the same. But anyway, like, you know, those nature documentaries, those are basically Republicans, right? Like, they're just wild animals. They're undomesticated, bad dogs. And you know what? I love bad dogs. I love taking bad dogs and making them good dogs. But when it comes to Republicans, I really just don't think it's possible, right? These are wild fucking animals. These are Homo erectus motherfuckers. These are unevolved, under-evolved losers. These guys, again, the dumbest population of people that have ever existed in all of human history. All of human history. This is the dumbest group of people. Right here, right now. Again, let me explain. Can you really blame people 7,000 years ago for not knowing about soap? Can you really blame people 10,000 years ago for not knowing about complex language? They didn't have the tools available to them. Now, everybody's got a smartphone. All of scientific discovery and thought is capable of being accessed at any point. And yet, the average intelligence of America, as especially Republicans, because this is like the dumbest of the dumb, right? America is the dumb. Republicans are the dumbest of the dumb, right? They're getting dumber over time. Like, do you have Republicans in your family? If you do, I do. I have Republicans in my family. I used to be able to have a conversation with them. Now, it's impossible. They're getting dumber. I need you to understand. Republicans, they're not staying stagnant as scientific discovery increases and the accessibility of complex knowledge increases, right? If they were stagnating, they would still be the dumbest group of people in the history that have ever lived. But they're getting dumber. They're getting fucking dumber. Like, I got this Republican in my family who is crazy ass motherfucker. Relatively, you could have like a 5-minute conversation with them if you're lucky. Nowadays, it's like, the election QAnon, goddamn Antifa, the Black Lives Matters rioters and looters are gonna come in and get me any day now. Like, I need you to really understand that it is not only that thought, intelligence, information is on the rise, but the average person is getting fucking dumber. Now, again, it would be horrible if the average person in such a plethora of knowledge in this world that we live in today, it would be a crime against humanity if the average person did not stay up to date on scientific discovery or read every day. That would be a crime against humanity if they were stagnating. That I need you to understand, this is not stagnation. These motherfuckers are getting dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber. And again, these are Neanderthals. These are Homo erectus motherfuckers. These are under-evolved, stupid, and more importantly, Republicans are dangerous. They are dangerous, okay? I need you to really understand, right? The most prolific serial killers in all of American history are politicians and cops. By the way, again, what are the Republican parties across the country? What is their main legislative goals where they don't have to deal with bipartisanship? In the states where it's all Republicans all day, what are they doing? They are emboldening child sex slavery. That's right. There's Republicans in several states that are advocating for more loosening of child marriage laws. What is child marriage? Child marriage is when you sell your kid to some creep so that creep can fuck them legally. That's what child marriage is. I have a term for that. It's called child sex slavery. This is what Republicans are doing in their state legislatures. They're banning certain minority groups from going to the doctor in these state legislatures. So again, it would be one thing if these were just dumb little puppies that like kept walking into the wall, or like, you know, they run down the hallway and then they like slip and slide into the wall. It's one thing. Cute little dumb puppy. We all love dumb little puppies. You know, you pick them up and they have their tongues hanging out there. We all love dumb puppies. But these are dangerous, crazy, insane, psychopathic animals. I need you to understand this. And I know they get triggered when we talk about them in this way. But I need you to, on a very, 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 like, permanently tattoo this into your brain. Republicans are evil, dangerous, nefarious, and disgusting, fucked up freaks. And this poll is a great example of that. again, the party of child sex slavery is going to challenge woke ideas. Wow. I'm listening. Wow. So, anyway, let me take this hat off. I feel like it's outstayed its welcome. How's everyone doing today? It is Friday. Everybody, it is fucking Friday! Yeah! Everybody? I'm drinking a Monster this morning. I'm starting my vacation today, everybody. You know, like when it's like the last day of school, you know, has anyone out there been to school? I dropped out, but I went there a couple times, but, you know, I remember, you know, the last day of school, you show up, but you don't really do anything. That's my show today. I'm showing up, but I'm not really doing anything. So I'm getting crunk off of this Monster energy drink. By the way, has anyone tried the alcoholic Monsters? I got a variety pack of that last weekend. Not too bad. Some of the flavors are actually not too bad. You know, again, you can barely taste the alcohol in that stuff. It's like around 6%. So there you go. Where are we going on vacation? Well, we are going nowhere, but I'm going into my bed, and I'm going to have many, many drug-infused experiences and think about the direction of my life. So, but we are going nowhere. I haven't had any coffee today, Sinkwell. I'm substituting with a Monster, so. But anyway, over the course of the weekend, I may do some Twitch streams. To be honest with you, I haven't really been doing microphone and camera on the Twitch streams, mostly just because I like to get really high and chill and play the game. But I still like to talk in the chat, so, you know, if anyone wants to interact with me. I will not be doing any Twitch streams next week, but I may be doing some over the weekend. So, today, Saturday, Sunday, because for me, I am taking Monday through Friday to go on a spiritual journey, if you will, inside of my own brain, a spiritual journey, and you know, so I may be on Twitch at some point during the weekend. I'm also, again, I'm doing a complete news break, a fast, if you will, from news next week. So if I do stream, don't come into my chat with news this weekend. I'm trying to take a break, but I'm not going to be streaming at all throughout the next weekday. But this weekend I might. But anyway, if you want to join me on the news fast, I guarantee you nothing crazy is going to be happening. I mean, it's possible. I mean, hey, World War III could happen. Who knows? You know, pick a good time. But you know, there you go. So. Anyway, let's jump right into the next story. Now, this one's funny, okay? This one's good. So, Joe Biden, unexpectedly based? I know. Hold the phone. Everyone calm down. You're already crying in the comment section. How dare you? So, Joe Biden recently did like a tour of Ireland or some shit. And now he is not even going to the king's coronation? Which, by the way, didn't that other bitch die? Like a fucking, like, when did that dumb bitch die? Like, wasn't this guy supposed to be fucking coronated like a long time ago? Like, I swear to God, the fucking dumb bitch queen died like a year and a half ago or some shit. I don't fucking know. You know? So what the fuck? Why does it take so long to coronate the motherfucker? Shouldn't that be like a same day thing? You know, when our presidents here in this country get shot, we coronate the next guy same day. We give them the Bible, we flip it open to page 78, and they put their hands on it like literally the same fucking day. You see that fucking famous photograph of Lyndon B. Johnson in the plane away from fucking goddamn Texas, like signing his oath or whatever, pledging his oath because JFK got his head blown off. Right, we do that shit day of. These motherfuckers are like, maybe we'll wait a couple years. Who knows? I'm gonna go get my tea and crumpets. I'm British, yes I am. Right, like what the fuck? Now, that's first. Second of all, this country was founded on a revolution against the king. So, again, based Biden. But also, again, this headline here, Trump bashes very disrespectful Biden after president. Very, very disrespectful Biden after president rejects UK's invitation to Charles III coronation. All right. So again, while we know why Trump worships kings, because he wanted to be a king. That's what he wanted to happen on January 6, 2021. He wanted to be installed as a king. Unfortunately, this country does not have kings, at least not at this current moment. But this idea also, third of all, now we're on step 3. Okay? It is the year 2023. If your country has a king, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. If your country has a king, and let's say a king or queen dies, and let's say of unnatural circumstances, and then let's say you allow that crown to be passed to another fucking trust fund baby, you are an irresponsible citizen. We have people in 2023 worshiping fucking kings and queens. And I'm not talking about the fucking television show, okay, motherfucker? I'm serious. This is some fucked up shit. Kings. Like, I get it. I know they pretend to... Oh, it's all symbolic. It's all symbolic. Well, that's some expensive fucking symbolism. We got poor people dying on the fucking street in the UK. But King Charles is gonna get his fancy crown jewels. Not to mention, whenever the goddamn king or queen goes anywhere, they bring their royal guards, a bunch of cock-sucking cops. You ever see these royal guards? These red-jacketed fuck-face freaks? Yep, there's so many videos of the royal guards just beating the shit out of random protesters, you know, because that's right, people protest the king, as they should. Fuck that guy. But the royal guards, like, they have no, like, there's no supervision, there's no ethics for them whatsoever, right? They're like the copyist of the cops, so they beat the shit out of protesters, they knock them down, hit them with fucking blunt weapons, and then, you know, that's it. There's never, they don't even open investigations into that. But like, again, so anyway, let's read this article. What did Donald Trump have to say? Because I'm sure it's pretty funny. See, Nigel Farage is embedded in here, so we're on a good track. Former President Donald Trump says it was very disrespectful for President Biden to reject the UK's invitation to attend Charles III coronation this week. Again, this motherfucker should have been coronated never, but the second best opportunity was right after the Queen died. Like, what the fuck is taking so goddamn fucking long? Like, I'm, you know, just for my own sake, when did Queen fuck shit? What is her name? When did the Queen die? That'll do it. When did the Queen die? I swear to God, this is more than a year ago. September 8, 2022? Wow, that's a lot more recent than I thought it was. Either way, what the fuck? Like, worst case scenario, this bitch should have been coronated September 9. You know, fuck it. Let's wait a couple days. September 11th is when this guy should have been coronated. You know, we need something new to celebrate on that day. But, like, wow. I mean, I'm just like, what took so long? Like, I'm just curious. Like, what is the process here that takes fucking, like, what? Fucking 8 months? 9 months? What takes so long? To coronate the fucking king. Isn't he already the king, by the way? What does coronate mean? I'm just gonna, just for my own sake and maybe everyone else, define coronate. Having or wearing a crown, coronet, or the like. I don't think, we do coronation. The ceremony of crowning a sovereign or sovereign's consort. So he's not a king yet. Either he's been coronated, therefore he's the king, or he's still a prince and there is no king, and he... Nevertheless, Trump argued the move was a snub from Biden in an interview with British political commentator Nigel Farage. I don't think he can do it physically, actually. I think it's hard for him to do it physically. Now, again, Biden was just in fucking Ireland. Did anyone see those videos of fucking, of Biden in Ireland doing these, like, kick-ass political rallies or whatever? Like, he was doing, like, literal political rallies in Ireland for some fucking reason. Having, like, laser shows. Did anyone see this shit? Like, Joe Biden, I saw a couple clips of him at, like, a laser show, like a rock concert, walking out on stage, and there's, like, thousands of people cheering him on in Ireland. Like, so I'm just saying, whether or not, like, yeah, I think Biden is definitely sundowning overall, but, I mean, he literally just went to Ireland, like, a fucking week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. So I'm just saying, like, the idea that he can't do it physically, I mean, come on, Trump. Come on, man. Like, you're stretching on this one. Trump said of Biden visiting the UK, certainly he should be here. He's our representative of our country. I was surprised when I heard he wasn't coming. But Donald Trump's going to be there. Anyway, oh, we get a clip here. Okay, I'll just play the clip.
Now, Mr. Biden's not coming. What does that say about his relationship with the UK? Because we get the feeling...
I haven't heard this guy's voice in a fucking goddamn long-ass time.
Here. Yeah, he's very, very pro-Ireland. He completely ignores the fact that Biden is, in fact, an English name. He's got English relatives. He doesn't seem to like us.
Wait, is Nigel Farage making this a Joe Biden is racist against English people? Yo, I'm glad I watched this clip, man. Nigel Farage is claiming that Joe Biden is racist against white people?
Now, Mr. Biden's not coming. What does that say about his relationship with the UK? Because we get the feeling here. Yeah, he's very, very pro-Ireland. He completely ignores the fact that Biden is, in fact, an English name. He's got English relatives.
I mean, do I even need to explain here? Like, I'm trying to think of, like, a commentary track that I could possibly add to this. Biden is an English name? Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares if Biden is an English name? His goddamn ancestors are from fucking Ireland. Who gives a fuck about the name?
He doesn't seem to like us very much.
I don't think he can do it physically, actually. I think that it's hard for him to do it physically. I think getting over here for...
Why is, like, notice, by the way, now, just for clarity's sake, I'm going to show off something. This is my neck, right? Just to be clear, I have a neck. I don't know, does Donald Trump have a neck? And if so, just for clarity's sake, these are my shoulders, right? Let me move my hair. So this is my shoulder, right? My head, like, you know, the chin dips down under the shoulder line a little bit. Donald Trump, his whole head is under the shoulder line. I don't even know, like, how you even get this position. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm going to try this. Like this? Like, yeah, how is this comfortable? How is it comfortable to sit like this? I don't think he can do it physically. Physically speaking, I don't think he can do it. Believe me? Physically, no, I'm perfectly healthy. I'm perfectly healthy. I am in top shape. But Biden, I don't think he is. I don't think he can do it. He doesn't have what it takes. Like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, I'm serious. Like, how is this comfortable for any human being ever?
For him, he's got a lot of things going, and a lot of strange things happen. But
he's got a lot of things going. Okay, I'm sure that that's true. By the way, did I, like, cut my lip? What is this? Is that a pimple? What is that? It's like a red dot. So, okay, he's got a lot of things going. What else did he say?
Going, and a lot of strange things happen.
So he's got things going, and strange things are happening. Like this weird red dot that just manifested. Was this here when I started the show? I'm going to, like, rewind real quick. Like, did I start the show with this red dot on my face? Doesn't look like it. Unless, like, the quality is really bad here. When did this red dot show up? Am I, like, is this an allergic reaction to the cringe that I'm viewing on stream? Like, anyway, let's keep going.
But certainly he should be here as our representative of our country. I was surprised when I heard that he wasn't coming. You would think he would be here. He'll be in Delaware, where he spends a lot of time. He spent a lot of time there during the election.
In the bunker.
By the way, just real quick, before we get into the bunker Biden stuff, Donald Trump doesn't seem well. Like, he's slouched over, right? He's like this. His feet, like, this is like some Jeb Bush energy that we're getting here. Like, he sounds like he's about to fall asleep. Yeah, you know, he should really be here. Some strange things happening. But yeah, Biden is just like, you know, he's not a spring chicken anymore. He's like, you know, it's very strange, and believe me, and by a lot strange, and Biden, what were we talking about? It's like, oh yeah, strange things are happening to Biden, and like, this guy seems unwell. Let's see.
In the bunker.
So I don't know, but I was very surprised to see. I think it's very disrespectful for him not to be.
Fucking, oh boy. We're disrespecting the king, folks. We're disrespecting the king. Oh, dear heavens. Dear heavens. We are disrespecting the fucking king. Featuring Max the dog. Maxie, we're on the show disrespecting the king. This is the only king I worship. King Max. Yeah, that's right. Hold the phone, Maxie. Maxie, I'm coronating you. Maxie, sniff it. This is for you, because you're the king. He does not want to be the king. That's a good boy. Kings are bad. Kings are bad. Good boy doesn't like kings. Look at this sweetheart. Look at this. Maxie, are you abdicating the throne? Are you saying fuck that throne? Good boy. See, this is a smart-ass dog. You might be thinking, wow, Max is a dumbass. But no, he's a smart dog. He is a smart fucking dog. This guy knows the crowns are nothing good. Doing a show today. Today, everybody, is Friday. We are here today to do a show to celebrate Friday. Once again, I'll be taking next week off. You will not be seeing a show until Sunday the 14th. I will be back Sunday the 14th. I'm going on a news fast. If you'd like to join me, feel free. I'm going to step away from the world and into my own world for a week or so. So feel free to join me or go about doing your little lives, you know. Go about it. Go live your life. You know, I'm going to wake up. Oh, who's on YouTube today? Oh, wow. Ooh, we're going to go watch this guy. Oh, wow. Wow, I love YouTube. Oh, wow. Oh, maybe I'll go on Twitter. Oh, and Facebook. Oh, wow. Look at me. My life is interesting. That's you. Right now. But, yeah, I'll be back on Sunday. All right. So this one is very strange. Bipartisan senators predict parents will overcome tech lobby to protect kids online. So this one is fucking weird. This is a weird one. I covered something like this a couple of weeks ago. I covered this impending like social media ban for under the age of 13. Utah implemented a policy where everyone needs to submit an ID to use any website. If you live in Utah, very soon, you will have to show the government ID to your fucking internet service provider to use any website that has social media. You know, they're doing it for pornography. Yeah, that's right. If you want to go jerk off on the internet, you have to show them your government ID first. So the government and your cable company is going to know what you're jerking off to. But don't worry, everybody. We got to protect the kids. Right? So the framing on this one is really fucked up. Right? Because they're making it like this, like, parents versus big tech thing. When, like, that's not even, like, I get it. That's their spin. Right? Politicians, they got to spin everything. But that's not what this is. That's not what this is. So they're trying to do essentially what Utah is doing. They want to do some version of that federally. So, and again, this is why when I talk about the media, when I talk about politicians, I often use the word in term gaslighting. So what is gaslighting? It is making someone believe, essentially, that whatever it is that they're seeing and hearing isn't actually true. Don't believe your lying eyes. You saw someone put their hand in the cookie jar, it would be gaslighting if they were to try to convince you it never happened. The only other alternative is you were hallucinating, or you made it up, or that is gaslighting. So, again, they're going to be talking about the mental health crisis facing America's teenagers. A big problem. It's a large problem. I agree. In fact, right? I would go as far as to say that I think I talk about social media addiction more than most people, especially when it comes to younger people. Younger people are being trained on how to participate in society based on Instagram, based on people posting oftentimes photoshopped or AI altered photos of themselves, right? Where they have a lot of makeup on, you know, maybe they'll make up the AI cut 10 pounds from their waistline, right? And then kids will grow up and they'll see that and think that that's the ideal beauty, that the standard that they need to achieve. Then they realize they can't. By the way, we also live in a society that poisons our kids. We feed kids poison that makes them fat and unhealthy. So why don't we cover that subject? You don't think that that's fueling the mental health crisis? When all of our kids who don't feed themselves, by the way, we feed them, parents feed them, they're becoming obese at large rates. 1 in 5 kids in the United States has non-alcoholic fatty liver disease because of sugar overdosing, right? So that, combined with things like Instagram, beauty standards, and so forth, can create a mental health cocktail for Americans. But that's the thing, is that none of this legislation is going to combat this, because the kids already know that these beauty standards exist. And even if they can't see them on social media, they'll see them on television. Because these same exact mental health crises that are happening now, in larger numbers for sure, were happening 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, when magazines and television were very popular amongst the younger generations. People would say, why can't I be like her? Why can't I be like him? People become envious. This is something that is wrong with us fundamentally. I mean, it helps us evolutionarily. It helped us get here. But again, so it's not like you're going to ban envy with this bill. All you're going to do is make literally every adult using the internet sigh every time they load a new webpage and they have to show their government ID. That's fucking crazy. I mean, it's crazy. This shit is crazy. And they're not doing anything to actually combat. Like, is this bill, are they going to massively fund universal health care? Because that's how you would fucking solve this problem. By the way, universal health care doesn't need funding. It's cheaper. It's cheaper than the current system. All you got to do is take the current system and reformat it to universal system, and then you start printing money, essentially. It's cheaper. So, are they going to do a massive healthcare, mental health care awareness campaign? Are they going to use government money to expand therapeutical models? No. They're going to ban kids from using TikTok, and they're going to make you show your government ID before you go jerk off to tranny porn. The Democrats, Senator Brian Schatz of Hawaii and Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut, and the Republicans Tom Cotton and Katie Britt are all parents of young kids or teenagers. They unveiled legislation recently that limits access to social media platforms and restricts the kind of content pushed out to kids. Now, again, every law is a suggestion. There is no such thing as a law. Law doesn't exist. It's not real. It's not real. I need you to fucking listen to me when I speak to you. The law is not real. You want to know what's real? This can of Monster Ultra Black. This is real, okay? How do I know? I can touch it. I can interact with it. I can drink from it. That's real. You know what's real? The clouds. The clouds are fucking real. You want to know what's not real? The law. But you want to know what is real? Cops. Cops are real. Hospitals are real. They exist. You can go into a hospital. So the law, the only parts of law that matter are how they are enforced. So, when you hear, oh, we want to limit social media for people under the age of 13, you know, because it's causing a mental health crisis, you may be dumb enough to go like, all right, that's a good idea. But how do you enforce this? You're going to pass a law that says if you're under the age of 13, you can't use TikTok, and then all the kids are going to go like, well, it's against the law, so. It's against the law to sell booze to minors. Minors still get drunk. You think a fucking 12-year-old is going to be like, oh, well, it's against the law, so. So how would you enforce it? Again, the only way to enforce this is to show a government identification of some kind before you use the internet. Mandating that every single American adult, because that is who the people that will be affected by these laws are going to be, adults. Imagine if you had to show your government ID before you watched this stream. It's insane. It's insane. They don't actually give a fuck about the problem. They don't give a fuck about kids. All they care about is expanding the national surveillance state. That's why it's bipartisan. That's why you get Republicans and Democrats grouping up. You think Republicans genuinely care about the mental health crisis of kids? Really? Tom Cotton. You think Republican Senator Tom Cotton cares whether or not your kid is depressed? As I talk to other moms who are trying to deal with this, it tells you the troubling uncertainty that social media brings into children's lives. Parents wanted tools to be able to talk to their children and to keep their children safe. So now every time you jerk off, you got to show me your ID first. Lawmakers don't agree on much, but they say it was easy to team up on a bill that would help shield kids from harmful content on platforms like Instagram and TikTok. I have news for you. Not only is this impossible, but this is going to backfire like nothing you've seen before. Once the average person gets a prompt on their phone or their tablet or their computer that says, please scan your government ID to continue watching cooking videos. But here's a lesson to all of y'all out there. This is a good time to invest in the fake ID business. So if anyone out there has some money, some spare cash, start up a fake ID business, because this is a good opportunity for you. You have a little bit of time to get into it before the law is passed, if it does get passed. So if anyone out there wants to make some free money, hey, there's an idea for you. Murphy conceded there are several proposals on Capitol Hill focused on online safety, but maintained their approach puts parents in the game to make sure their kids' data isn't being accessed for dangerous content. First of all, it is. Kids' data, whether or not you have like this California law that was passed, you know, everyone on YouTube has to like say, my video is not made for kids because of a California state law. But like on the back end, I could just click the yes button. Like nothing is stopping me. I mean, I don't, obviously my stuff is not, but like I've seen stories of people doing that, right? Like you're telling me you're going to create a law that across the whole internet, every website that's ever existed, historically speaking, because you can look at archived websites. So you're going to go back throughout the entire history of the internet and segregate things by should be seen by under or over 13. And then you're going to find a way to enforce that? It's not going to happen. But these Republicans and these Democrats are out of touch losers that don't know fucking shit about jack, and they just assume their fantasy world is going to come to fruition. Instead of funding mental health, treatment, and awareness, let's ban everyone's access to the internet instead. What? If the four of us can agree on this, I think there's real hope that this approach can get to the Senate floor. And that is fucking horrifying. That is horrifying. The idea that this might actually get passed. Mandatory to show your government ID before you ever use your computer, your cell phone, your whatever. That is fucking insane. That is fucking insane. Now again, I am all in favor of regulating social media. I am all in favor of having national... We should be teaching kids in school. We should be teaching... Not only should we be teaching this in school, proper use of social media. We teach driving in school. We should be teaching this to 4th graders and 5th graders. Hell, I'm open to the idea of even 3rd graders. There should be a mandatory aspect of school curricula that tell you safe procedures on how to use social media. To tell you not everything you see on the internet is real. Because it's not. A lot of the shit you see on Instagram is photoshopped, filtered, and now we've got AI alterations. Kids need to be taught from a young age that not everything you see online is real, but they don't want to do that. They don't want to actually fix the problem. All they want to do is expand the powers of the national security state. What would this measure do? The legislation requires users to be 13 to be able to create accounts on social media platforms. It requires parental consent for 13 to 17, and it bars social media companies from distributing content generated by their algorithms to those under 18. How? Let's keep going. Shat stressed, these algorithms are probably more powerful than an adult's brain. That's such a stupid way of thinking about it. This is a Democrat, by the way. Like, these are the people that fucking they're signing legislation to mandate that you have to show your ID to every website or every device that you ever log into. They don't even understand what an algorithm is. An algorithm more powerful than an adult's brain? Are you fucking stupid? Are you fucking dumb? An algorithm that the whole purpose of it is to show you more funny cat videos is more powerful than an adult's brain? Again, these people have no fucking idea what the fuck they're talking about. So fucking stupid, these people. This is a Democrat, by the way. He said their business model was to make kids linger. Their business model is to make everybody linger. Not just kids. Now, again, kids are obviously more susceptible because they're kids and they don't know any better. But this idea that, like, social media is specifically targeting kids, as if adults aren't addicted to this shit as well, as if the average fucking Zoomer is able... do you know, just real quick question, and I'm genuinely asking, and I ask this as a 26, soon-to-be 27-year-old, so I'm in a similar age group. Do you know anybody under the age of 30 that is capable of going for, let's say, a dinner or watching a movie without using their phone? Hell, under 35, under 40, under 45. How many people do you know that are capable of doing things without using their phone every few hours or every few minutes? Because I know I have trouble sometimes. So, again, these social media companies are manipulating us all. It's just that kids are obviously the most susceptible. And so, instead of teaching kids from an early age how to navigate this online world in a safe way, we're teaching them nothing and then making it illegal and forcing adults to show ID? What? I mean, I'm serious. What? But again, I need you to really understand that the leaders, the people that tell us what we can and can't do, are dumber than we are by a huge, huge margin. Some senators pushing other online safety bills raised questions about whether this approach puts more of the onus on parents and less... Now, I just want to say this. I don't have kids. I'm not planning on having kids. Now, in the future, I might change my mind. I'm open to it. But this idea that I'm going to have to change my life because of other people not being able to raise their kids... To me, personally, this sounds like a skill issue on behalf of the parents. Don't have kids if you don't want to talk to them about social media. Don't have kids if you don't want to raise them and teach them how to navigate in the world in a safe way. Don't have kids if you're not going to fucking raise them properly. Why do I have to change my life because of kids that I don't fucking have? Yeah. Your kids are suffering? Sounds like a you problem. Sounds like you fucked up as a parent. And you just want to blame it on social media. Now again, social media fucking sucks. But come the fuck on, you're a parent. Your goal is to equip your child to navigate in this hellscape we call our world. If you didn't want to do that, you shouldn't have had a kid. The data doesn't lie, she said, noting that from 2011 to 19, the number of teens who felt depression more than doubled, and that 1 in 3 young women in high school have said that she's considered suicide. And when you think about that, inaction is not an option. But this is fundamentally, this is inaction. Because this isn't going to change anything. Kids are still going to be watching cartoons and television. And also, do they really think that if kids can't personally access a certain application on a phone, that they're somehow going to be oblivious of the whole world happening around them? Do they really think that kids aren't just going to figure out easy ways to crack this? I mean, I'm just like, this is insane. Now again, notice, by the way, NPR doing positive propaganda for this garbage. What would the measure do? So far, we're like 8 paragraphs in, and we have not gotten close to what would the measure do. Right? This has not been answered. Again, the only parts of laws that actually mean anything are enforcement mechanisms. Saying, well, our kids are suffering, we got to do something. That's not an enforcement mechanism. That's not a law. That's just your blog post. Another key provision of the bill is requiring age verification before kids can create accounts. Now again, are these fucking people stupid? I know the answer to that. Another key provision of the bill is requiring age verification before kids can create accounts. What about adults? What this should say is requiring age verification before anyone can make an account. So they're going to know the kids are making the account and then ask them to verify their age? If they knew they were kids, they wouldn't need to ask them to verify their age. Therefore, again, the only fucking enforcement mechanism of this stupid fucking horseshit is to make everyone show a government ID before they access the internet. That is the only enforcement mechanism that would make any of this law even remotely possible. But they're not going to tell you that. Setting up a system for parents to approve their kids signing up. What about me? What about me? The childless wonder over here? Am I going to have to... How are we implicated? Because again, unless they do a government identification check verification, then this whole law is pointless because there's just going to be so many easy ways to get around it. The only possible enforcement mechanism of this is to fuck everyone else over. So you can read more of this. It's just talking about the issues that I've already laid out, but wow, I mean... Again, Democrats are consistently the least useful people in the world. They are the most useless fucking morons that have ever been invented. And Republicans are so good at taking advantage of them to weaponize and increase the power of the national security state. So congrats, everybody. Brian Schatz and Chris Murphy for being the dumb fucks of the day on this one. Good job. We're doing a show here. Everybody, I'm taking a vacation from the internet over the course of next week. As a result, I want to do a longer than average Q-Cock segment. So, post your Q's and cocks. Not yet. Calm the fuck down. But get them ready. open like a notepad or type it up somewhere, get it ready. I got a couple more things I want to talk about. Get them ready, folks. Get your Q's and cocks ready. So there is another culture war flashpoint going on in the United States of America. For some reason, this is controversial. I felt the same thing about Kyle Rittenhouse. But it is controversial because in the United States of America, violence is fun. We all love killing people, and we all want to kill people in this country, you and me included. So there was an incident that happened in New York that I want to touch upon. There was somebody that was murdered on a subway car for the crime of being homeless. They got murdered. So I want to read this a little bit. This is from CNN. Jordan Neely, the man killed in chokehold on NYC subway, is remembered as an entertainer shattered by his mother's murder. So I want to read a little bit about this. The victim, there is a video of this incident. I'm not going to watch it. Feel free to look it up if you'd like, but that's on you. Again, it's pretty much an even less debatable Kyle Rittenhouse situation. A totally, without any authority, civilian decided to kill someone who was not a threat. Now, Kyle Rittenhouse got away with it. Will this guy get away with it? It's totally possible. We live in vigilante world. But again, what is the precedent? This is when I talked about Kyle Rittenhouse getting found innocent. I don't give a fuck about that puny little fucking crybaby freak. Okay? What I care about is the precedent. People are going to say, well, if Kyle got away with it, well, then I can kill this guy for screaming and get away with it. Hey, he was screaming. Who knows? He could have killed somebody. That's the excuse that you're going to see on the right, because right-wingers are saying that. This guy could have killed somebody, so therefore let's kill him. Couldn't anybody kill somebody? Anyone on the subway could have a gun. Anyone on the subway could have a bomb. How do you know? He could have killed someone. Wow. Well, So this is more about the person who was killed. Before Jordan Neely was killed on New York subway car this week, he was known for his swift Michael Jackson dance moves that entertained many, yet he struggled with the trauma his mother's murder had left him with at an early age. Quote, he told me about how much his mother's passing impacted him. He disclosed that she was murdered and her body was put in a suitcase. Moses Harper, an artist who knew Neely, told CNN, Harper and Neely became friends quickly after they met in 2009. When she took him under her wing, Neely opened up to her about how hard it was losing his mother as a young teenager. It traumatized him. He was not expecting that. The brutal way she was taken, this had a big impact on him. The brutality behind that traumatized him. How many times do you need to say the same thing? On Monday afternoon, Neely was killed after being held in a chokehold by a Marine veteran on a subway after Neely got on the train and shouted at passengers that he was hungry, thirsty, and fed up with having nothing. Now, I have been in public many times with people that insist on speaking loud. I can tell you, I have never actually thought, I hope some random guy murders this person. The 30-year-old's death was ruled a homicide, but it does not mean there was intent or culpability, which is a matter of the criminal justice system to consider. I want people to understand this is more important than any legislative thing happening right now when it comes to right-wing violence in this country. Kyle Rittenhouse went to a protest and murdered people for no reason and got away with it. Now, a Marine veteran is the right wing's hero for killing a black person who was upset that they were homeless and was asking people for food or for water. He was murdered because he was thirsty and hungry. Okay? I really need you to understand. If this guy gets off, and he probably will. Now, it's possible he won't. This is New York as opposed to Wisconsin. But if this guy gets off, I need you to understand it's over for this country. This is a clear-cut issue of illegal vigilante justice. I guess I should just say vigilantism, because justice is nowhere in the conversation. This is so blatantly illegal that the idea that right-wingers in this country are pretending like it's not, and you can go and see the discourse about it. If this guy gets off for murdering somebody for yelling on a subway, it's over. I need you, for as far as vigilante stuff goes, it's over. If yelling on a subway is a death sentence, what about yelling at a protest? I mean, Kyle Rittenhouse got away with murder because someone was yelling at him at a protest. What about, there's an argument, you know, two people are arguing about something on the street and you just run up and kill one of them because one of them is black and the other's white. I really, again, if this guy gets off, the precedent in this country, and another thing that's very important to talk about, is the right wing is, as we speak right now, already all over this. They're already all over it. The right wing, this is, again, a culture war flashpoint. They're all over it. Every right winger that uses the internet is already all over this. They're already doing propaganda. This guy's innocent. He was cleaning up the mess. He was keeping people safe. Because what if Jordan Neely were to hurt someone? For the crime of screaming on a subway while black, death sentence in these right-wingers' minds. These people want you and people like you to be killed for simply existing. And again, legal precedent is extremely important in this country. If this guy gets off for this, then vigilantes all around the country are going to be way more emboldened. So again, you can read more of this if you'd like. There's a video and all that. I don't feel the need to go too far into depth myself on this issue because I feel like I don't need to. But again, just think about this world that we're living in. We're about 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 Americans genuinely think if you're black and you're loud that you deserve to die. Because that's what we're dealing with. Republicans are talking about this as if it's like a defense issue. Okay? When we have 1 in 5, to be charitable, people that believe that you should be killed for being loud on a subway while having black skin, that's a death sentence. How does a society proceed? How do we move past this kind of stuff? I'm just curious. Now, it's totally possible this guy doesn't get found innocent. He gets found guilty. And that's a good thing if it does happen. But at this point, we don't know. And again, the precedent of Kyle Rittenhouse, when it comes to legal violence and legal loopholes and ways that people interpret the law, the slippery slope fallacy, in my opinion, has a lot of merit when it comes to the legal system. We look at things like how the legal system has interpreted police, over time, police shooting. Well, the police, they were defending their lives. Just think about qualified immunity. Qualified immunity happened because of case after case after case of cops killing people for no reason. And the judges were like, well, they're cops. We got to come up. Oh, qualified immunity. There you go. Right. So again, precedent when it comes to the legal system is important, and it is a slippery slope. So I don't know. It's possible he gets found guilty. It's possible he gets found innocent. To be honest with you, I have no idea what could possibly happen here. But either way, if he does get found innocent, we are fucked as a society, because this is an undebatable act of violence. And I thought Kyle Rittenhouse was an undebatable act of violence. I saw the video of Kyle Rittenhouse killing people for no reason, and I thought, wow, this is fucked up. And then he got off. And the entire Republican machine defended him for going to a protest with a gun, specifically to engage in violence and then murdering people. And he got off, and now he's a hero. And I thought that was undebatable. I thought that was clear cut. So, I don't know. But if you're black and you plan on using the subway, you got to really be careful, because there are some crazy fucking morons out there. This country is a disaster. I really need people to understand. This country that we live in is a disaster. It's a disaster. And it doesn't matter. I know a lot of people say, well, most people are good people. It doesn't matter if most people are good people. It doesn't matter if 80 to 90% are good people. I don't believe that. I think most Americans are awful people. Doesn't mean I believe they should be killed. But I think most Americans are terrible, fucking selfish scumbags. That's my opinion. But if there is a very powerful minority that is willing to kill people, it doesn't matter if 90% of the population are great, lovely people. If 10% are willing to kill people at the drop of a fucking dime, it doesn't fucking matter. Okay? So even if you are a naive child and you believe most Americans are fundamentally good people, that's irrelevant to the idea that there is a group of domestic terrorists in this country that is about 25% of the population. About 1 in 4 Americans want to kill you and everyone you know and love and your entire way of life. They're called Republicans, okay? And they're coming for you. They're coming for your rights. If you're transgender, gay, or pregnant, you can't go to the doctor. You're banned from going to the doctor. If you are pregnant, transgender, or gay, in a lot of states, you just can't go to a doctor. You're not allowed. They're coming for you. These fucking Republicans. They are coming for you, and they want to kill you and take everything you've ever loved. It really is that simple. That's really all it boils down to. So anyway, there you go. Trans and in Missouri. Jesus. You should be taking that membership money and getting the fuck out of there. That's my opinion. Feel free to request a refund. Yeah, I've seen a lot of shit about like Missouri, Montana now, Utah. Like people are just, and again, enforcement, right? Even if a law isn't passed, there are people that go to the pharmacy, and because they're debating it in the news, the pharmacist is like, oh, I'm not going to give this to you. Even though legally speaking, there's no restriction. This is what happened with a lot of the abortion stuff. Is even before Roe v. Wade was overturned, you had these people going like, well, there's a lot of people talking about it. I'm not going to fill your prescription. So even pharmacists are just taking it upon themselves to be vigilantes extracting justice in some areas. So, I mean, it's fucked up shit. All right, y'all. I want to do one more news story today, and then we're going to get into, hopefully, an extended QCOC. I mean, I hope you motherfuckers have come up with something. You're cooking something over there. What do I know about the Convention of States? I know nothing. All right. So when you think of freedom, what do you think of? Having guns in your house? Having 10 guns? 30 guns? Shotguns? chain guns, rocket launchers. Hey, throw a couple pistols in there. Gotta be safe. But what if I told you that freedom to own 7,516 replica AK-47s that were used in World War I or II, whatever. What if I told you that right cost other people rights? You'd think, ha! It's America. We all got a right. Well, what if I told you that a bunch of crazy motherfuckers were using these toys to go and kill a bunch of kids? Little crazy. Would you want any restrictions on this? Just a theoretical here. Here's the news story for today. Michigan school district bans backpacks, citing safety. Lives are at stake. You can't bring a bag to school in a Michigan school district. Some of them were trying to do the clear backpacks. God, that's such a liberal idea, by the way. That's such a Democrat idea. Capital D, Democrat. Well, what if we just had clear backpacks? Jesus. Well, wow, there you go. Can't bring a bag to school. How are you going to carry your 7 textbooks? Better start working out, bitch. Police vehicles gathered outside Southwestern Classical Academy. That's one fuckmother of a name, by the way. Southwestern Classical Academy on April 19 as the Flint, Michigan school began the grim routine familiar to students across the country, going into lockdown because of a security threat. The school was closed for 2 days as authorities investigated the threat. MLive reported. In a fraught Flint Board of Education meeting the following week, administrators said the lockdown at Southwestern spoke to an ongoing issue of safety in the district. Their concern was heightened, they said, by the presence of gun violence nationwide. In my 15 years of service here in the community schools, I've never felt the way I do now, said Ernest blah, blah, blah. As it relates to shootings and things like that, that are going on in our country and our community, blah, blah, blah. The board voted unanimously that day to adopt a tough response, a ban on all backpacks from Flint community school buildings for the rest of the school year. Now, I'm going to tell you this. This is quite literally, in my opinion, the best response I've seen from a school board when it comes to this issue. Now, I know it's a ridiculous response. I'm aware of that of its ridiculousness. But I need people to understand gun control is not happening in this country. It's not fucking happening. Gun restriction is not happening. Okay? It's just not gonna happen. No matter how many times you march for our lives, no matter how many times you call your congressman, no matter how many times you scream on a Facebook post, gun reform in this country is not going to happen. I'm also going to go out there and say it is not possible. Like, let's just say there was political will enough to craft some legislation to do something about guns that actually moves the needle. It's not even possible to do so. We have more guns than people in this country. We have the advent of 3D printing. So even after traditional gun manufacturing goes away, if it did from some legislation, let's say America got its shit together and banned all gun factories in the whole country, which again would never happen, but let's say it did happen, 3D printing. Now again, I need you to really think about this. Try to find out in your mind a way to effectively limit mass shootings in this country. Because a lot of liberals and Democrats, they literally will think if we had gun control, shootings would go down. They literally think that. Now, as if that's a solution to the problem. Like, sure, Could there be a couple less shootings? Maybe. It's possible. And sure, is harm reduction always good? I think so, personally. But let's be honest here. This is not just an epidemic of guns. And this is not just an epidemic of mental health crises. It's both and more. American culture is so fundamentally broken that I personally think that the only solution to this country is for it to be completely destroyed and for us to start over. Okay, you ban guns. How do you do that? How do you ban guns? How? Walk me through it. Walk me through. You shut down every gun factory? Do you really think that that will ever happen in this country? Right, so now, again, I'm totally willing to believe that tweaks around the edges might reduce the percentage of mass shootings. But if you want us to reach in this country a level of mass shootings like they have in Norway or Australia or Japan, that's not going to happen. It will never happen. It will never happen. So if you don't want to live in a country that has a gun problem, move out. It's that simple. And again, this is a ridiculous fucking story. They're banning fucking all bags in schools. That's ridiculous. But you know what it is? It's actually moving the needle on the safety of the kids in these specific instances. You know what? It actually is. This is actually a good idea. If your goal is to make kids safe now, this is a way to do it. I'm just saying. As ridiculous as it is, what are they going to do? Ban guns in school? Well, guess what? Guns are already fucking banned in school. How do the guns get in there? Bags. It's just the way it works. And until we completely eradicate the Republican Party in this country, until we completely dismantle and destroy all forms of conservative thought, which, by the way, will never happen, there will always be fucked up freaks in this country. But let's just assume we got rid of them. Then maybe we could have a country that actually makes sense. But that's not going to happen. There's no way that we can do that, at least in my lifetime, and I'm 26. I don't see that happening in 50, 60, 70 years. I don't know, and I'm willing to debate it. If someone can tell me a way that they think the United States could actually deal with guns, like, again, it's a matter of political will, which we don't have. You might think how famous and how much people talk about guns. No one votes on guns. People don't vote based on guns. So even if there's like 30,000 March for Our Lives protests and, going out there and gun violence, gun violence awareness, people don't vote on guns, therefore nothing happens. But let's assume people did vote on guns. Again, I fundamentally, without destroying America completely and eradicating its constitution and starting over, fundamentally, there is nothing we can do. That's just my take. And maybe I'm a doomer. Maybe I'm a nihilist. I don't know what I am. All I know is that I've seen enough. And so, you know what? I'm in. Good idea from Flint, Michigan. Now, again, I'm willing, if someone has some blueprint, a game plan to me, marching in the street in Washington, that's not fucking doing anything. Marching at the State House in Florida, that's not fucking doing anything. Marching at the goddamn fucking governor's mansion in Texas, it's not fucking doing anything. Not that I think that protesting is useless. I love protesting. I'm a huge fan of protesting. Fuck the government. But it's not doing anything. Like, think about it. Is the U.S. really going to do a massive multi-trillion-dollar campaign funding mental health awareness campaigns? Are they? No. They're not. So they're not going to fix it on that side. Are they going to do multi-billion-dollar gun buyback programs and campaigns, or mandatory gun buybacks, walking door to door to take people's guns, inspect every floorboard to make sure that they're not hoarding any? No, they're not going to do that. Is America going to get a liberal Supreme Court that is willing to rewrite or reinterpret the Constitution with the Second Amendment? No. And even if that did happen, it would be 40, 50 years down the line. I need you really all to understand, we are fucked. When it comes to guns in this country, we're fucked. If you don't like it, move. And I'm not saying that because I endorse it. I don't like it either. I'm just saying that to get your shit into gear. Because until people start actually organizing and voting on these issues, we that's the starting position. Think about it. How long has it been since Columbine? When was Columbine? Like 99, I think? Something like that? Sandy Hook. Uvalde. Right? How many of them have we seen? And we still haven't gotten to step 1. We are still... It has been over 20 years of the mass slaughter of children on live television, and we haven't even gotten to step 1. Step 1. Now, again, think about it. I'm telling you, even if you game it all out, even if we did pass laws, even if we did do, and the political will was there, people started voting on this and all that, I still don't think we could actually make a dent unless we just destroyed the whole country, burned the Constitution, and started over, right? But again, we are stun-locked. We are paralyzed on step 1. 25 years of televised mass slaughter of children, and we can't even get past the first... We can't even not get past the first step. We can't even get from step 0 to step 1. We can't make the first step. We are paralyzed for a quarter of a century of televised mass slaughter of children, and we can't even take one fucking step. So you tell me how the plan is working, how we're making progress. You tell me. Because I'm curious. I don't know. I'm not here to give you a solution. On this one, I don't have a solution. I'm all out of ideas on the gun issue. So, if anyone's got them, please let me know, because... How do I feel about lefties who advocate banning the right to homeschool? I vehemently disagree. The system is often fucked. Yeah, banning the right to homeschool, I disagree with that. I personally, if I ever had a kid, I would be more likely to homeschool my kid than not. The worst part about homeschooling is lack of socialization, right? So you need to find other ways to integrate that. But all right, y'all. Q-cock time. Questions, comments, or concerns. Folks, I'm going to be taking a pee break. Motherfuckers, a pee break. Are you fucking hearing me? This is a break. The show is not fucking over. Again, this is my last show for about a week. I'm taking an 8-day vacation. So, if you've got a Q or a cock, now's your time. Because I'm going to be a completely different person when I get back here. Because I'm planning on going through a spirit quest. Anyway, I'm going to pee. BRB. Think of something. Think of something. right, everybody. I would like to enter the second portion of the program today. The portion where I have a cup that is empty. That's actually got some water in it. Just pour that all over me. I got a cup, and I've got some alcohol that I picked up from the alcohol store. Folks, I'm going to be consuming Jack Daniels with honey. Never had it before. It was on sale. So, decided I'm going to try it, and let's start the day. So, all right. So, if you got cues, if you got cocks, let me know. Let me hear it. And I'm going to scroll up, and I'll go in order. So, I'm going to be going until it's over. So, I'm down to be here for an hour, 2 hours, as long as y'all can keep me going. Now, usually, with these Q cocks, you motherfuckers give me like 4 or 5 minutes of content. So, I'm just saying, you know, I'm willing to go longer than 4 or 5 minutes, but let's give this a taste. I've never had it before, so. I can see why people enjoy such a thing. All right, I'm going to scroll up. I hope you all enjoy my sound font collection. I've been growing my sound font collection. And, yeah. Oh, all right. We're fucked, that's it. Regulate the bullets. You see, that's another one. That's a good one, Soul Life. Regulate the bullets. I don't see it happening. Really? They're going to regulate the bullets? They're going to go into every gun manufacturer and put, like, mandatory minimums on gun purchases and bullet... It goes back to the political will thing. And then that also goes back into people are just going to make bullets at home, and they're just going to explode in the chamber constantly, and you're going to have... Now, again, that's definitely a benefit. You know, if you have a gun and you're shooting someone, if it blows up in your face, you know, it's better than if you were to get a mass shooting. But, hey, imagine if it's a home invasion scenario, right? Like, you're actually using the gun for the, you know, the serious purpose, you know, and that's going to be the arguments, but... But, and also, yeah, bullets, like, it does seem like a good idea. I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. Have you ever tried a high gun tax, like with cigarettes? That's still, like, if someone wants to go on a mass shooting, I mean, look at the Uvalde shooter. At least I still believe, I'm not sure if this was, proven to be incorrect, but I read at the time, and feel free to correct me if this is wrong, that the Uvalde shooter bought the guns on a credit card. You know, like, and then also you can get a credit card and just take out a cash advance. You know, like, so I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Do I think humans will go extinct at some point? Yes, I do. At least on this planet. I don't think that there's much of a future on Earth for humans. But that's the thing. Extinct, though. It's, like, extinct is a big... Like, even just having, like, 20 people, you know? Like, humans... We're some really crafty fuckers, you know? So, like, I can see a mass extinction of most of the population. But fully extinct, I'm not sure. But I think at this rate, I think the Earth is going to be uninhabitable, within a couple hundred years, right? So, like, assuming we don't do anything about climate change, and it looks like we're not going to do anything about climate change, I'm going to say, unless humans are able to escape the planet in some way and build, like, a space colony, which I think And I'm not going to lie to you when I say this, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but again, it's all a matter of political will. At the end of the day, political willpower and money. I think it is more likely that humans will build space colonies on the moon and Mars and just in orbit than it is for humanity to solve climate change. That is my opinion. I believe that. If you want to debate it, feel free. Paywall the P, bring the camera. That's a good idea, actually. I wish I had been homeschooled or gotten a GED instead. Too many rotten assholes in school. I dropped out and got a GED. That was my pathway. So if there's any high school age people watching, don't listen to me, I guess. I don't know. But I dropped out as soon as I was legally capable. I think I dropped out like on my birthday of the minimum dropout age. So fuck school. I hate school. And I hate it forever. I'm going to be like 80 years old going about like, school system, you know, slang, god damn it. That's going to be me when I'm 80. Nothing prepared for QCOC. Well, you gotta go. Our only hope is aliens coming to save us. I mean, that is definitely what I see as a possibility of hope, for sure. Q Cock, how the hell are you? I'm doing pretty well. I had some fucked up dream last night, though. I had one of those intense 30-year dreams. You know? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? I don't know how many of y'all are dream experienced people, but I had one of those 30-year dreams last night where it felt like I was living through a completely alternate life. That's like, you know, I would like wake up and because I wake up and go back to sleep sometimes, you know, I use the bathroom I just wake up sometimes, you know, screaming, you know, but, every time I'd go back to sleep, I'd like wake up at a random period of my life and just like live day to day until and it was crazy shit. One of those 30-year dreams. So back to the question, how the hell am I? Not too bad. I was feeling a little frazzled, this morning, but, not too bad. Have you ever heard of philosopher Alan Watts? I've heard of them, but I don't know any of their materials. I'm not familiar, so maybe I'll look into them so much. Did I have to make the P break music so goddamn loud? Yes, absolutely. I used the Seinfeld sound font, so it had to be loud. There was no question about it. I'm sorry, Mila. My hands were tied. Q, you don't know who Richard Quest is. I mean, that's a weird structure of a question, but no, I don't know. So I guess your inference is correct. Comment! Andrea has the perfect cadence because you can listen to her at normal speed at 2x speed. Normal speed is still interesting and keeps your attention at 2x while you can still catch every word. Try that one. Once again, I will be streaming on Twitch throughout the weekend. If you want to say hi to me, or talk to me or something, but starting Monday, I am not going to be streaming on Twitch. And if you do come to my Twitch stream this weekend, don't talk about news. Otherwise, I'll be genuinely upset, and I very well may ban you from the chat. I may take it personally. I'm still going. That reminds me, I'm sorry, I got super chats. Fuck my face. I'm so sorry. We got Vitingale, who is a member. Mike K, who did the super chat an hour ago, but it's okay because they just did another one, which reminded me. I'm really bad at super chats because most streamers will just like read them immediately, but I don't like to like interrupt my train of thought because it's hard for me, and sometimes I forget. So I'm really sorry about that. But have you heard about Ali Alexander, an associate of Nazi Nick Fuentes, who was yes, I did hear about that. I didn't cover it because I mean, there's multiple reasons. One of them is, to be honest with you, I didn't want to deal with the possible SEO nightmare that would bring. Two, I don't want to deal with Nazis mass reporting me for SEO. Whenever I talk about Nick Fuentes, I get literally, I'm not even joking, like every time I make a video where Nick Fuentes appears in the title or anything, I get hundreds of Nazis, like it's like they got a Google alert on that shit. I don't know, man. But they come in, they report everything, and so I didn't cover that because of that. And because I was dealing with that YouTube strike issue as well. But I did hear about it, and it is not surprising. I personally assume most Republicans are pedophiles. That's just my assumption. I just assume that. Maybe it's incorrect, but I don't know, man. There's a lot of examples coming out, so. Look up Titan, moon of Saturn. I love Titan. Triton, moon of Neptune. They have oceans and could be inhabitable someday. I wrote, I think it was like 6th grade. I wrote like a story on Titan. There was like some... you had to like write a story about some science that bullshit. I wrote like a fucking 10-page short story about going to Titan. And I named the spaceship the Titanic. So I'm very well versed on Titan, but thank you for that. We got Courtney, Bender and treats and money. We got beer emoji with cloud emoji coming from One Direction, mushroom emoji, ampersand treats, bone emoji, money bag with a cash symbol on it, tied up with string at the top emoji. Thank you, Courtney. So anyway, let's get back to the chat here. This motherfucker, Soul Life, save it in Notepad++. This motherfucker. Jesus Christ. Oh, use Notepad. Not Notepad+. Notepad+ is for plebeians. Use Notepad++. How much longer do you think the U.S. has to go before we go to 1940s Germany? I think we're in 1930s Germany. And I think that we are on a similar but different enough time scale. So I'd be willing to say maybe 10 to 15. I would say 25 at the absolute maximum. Assuming there's no like massive backlash against the current trajectory, which there could be. Hopium. How much longer do you think till this anti-trans culture war is going to calm down? I think at least 10 years. We have to strap in for the long haul. I think we have at least 10 years of this to go from this point, if not longer. Yeah, I mean, 15 maybe. I mean, really, I don't really know. I think it might calm down in certain parts. I don't think the whole thing is going to be like a ramp up, like a linear, ramp up. I think there might be periods where like they calm down and like try to kill black people instead for a little bit, or try to kill Jewish people instead, or immigrants instead, because they shift, the boogeyman, as some people say, the bogeyman. They shift them. So I think it'll be like, I don't think it'll be like a linear culture warble, but I think it will be an issue for a while, I think. Really, it ultimately boils down to we need to wait for enough people to die and enough people to be born to shift the cultural tide. And I don't think that'll happen for a while. So, fuck, my chat snapped to the bottom. Okay, here we go. Someone's asking, I think so. I read someone ask about the Tim Pool Lance from the Surfs thing. I didn't watch that. I don't keep up with any of that. Like, I didn't watch any leftist that's been, I've never watched any Tim Pool show. There's no value in that. I didn't watch when Ben Shapiro's debating Anna Kasparian. I don't watch any of these. They're just a waste of my time and energy. I don't care about it. But if you like it, that's fine. I get it's just entertainment, right? That's just, if I'm going to do something entertaining, I'd play a video game. To me, it's just, I don't find that entertaining at this moment in my life. That's why I come in late. I prefer 2X, and I'm able to follow every word and catch up. Yeah, I watch all my political content on 2X myself. Which is why, you never see me in any chat rooms, I don't watch too much political content, but if I do, I would rather watch the video on 2X just because it's half the time I get to, trying to optimize it, Q-Cock. Is Democrat cities going to admit they're wrong about immigration? When it comes to those goddamn demon rats, I don't really think they'd ever admit anything they did wrong, especially when it comes to aliens, and that's what we gotta call them. I know, Retro Boomer, you're trying to be bipartisan, but we gotta call them as we see them. They're aliens from another planet. They're from Mars. They're from Venus, wherever the fuck they're from. They're aliens, and we gotta treat them as such. We gotta confiscate their death bay, rain bays, and gotta, throw them in concentration camps. Anyway. I used to do a show on YouTube called The Liberty Loop, where the whole show would just be me doing that voice and talking about the news from the Republican side. But I stopped doing that show after the 2020 election because I didn't want to get banned because YouTube doesn't understand satire. But when I did do The Liberty Loop, I would often have people come into my comment section and think that I was sincere. Like, I'm talking about, like, Republicans, like, going, like, saying shit like, it's great to see young women are so conservative, all that stuff. I had the MAGA hat on and everything. I love that shit. Maybe I'll do it again. I don't know. But I got a little nervous after the 2020 election because a lot of people, were getting banned for satire and for all that. So I stopped that. But it's fun. It would still be cool if Andrea ran for president trolling the law. I mean, I'm open to it. The only limiting factor is money and having, like, someone do the legal stuff for me. But I'm totally open to it if someone... I don't even know how much it would cost, like, to file. Like, because what I would need to do is I would need to file and then get rejected and then sue, right? Like, that would be the way to go about it. So, if anyone wants to help with that, I'm totally down to do that. Like, that sounds fun. Never heard that one. Well, I got a couple that are still yet to be done on stream. I'm trying to stretch them out, but the Seinfeld one is great. QCock, how should we go about prioritizing individual actions to better ones? Like if collective action is screwed. I'm not gonna lie, that is above my pay grade. I'm not smart enough to answer that question. I don't think necessarily that collective action is screwed. I think that collective action needs to be more unified and on certain things. Like that's why unions are really popular. You don't see a lot of the energy for unions, with unions that you see for other subjects, because unions are directly facing the bottom line, right? Like they're advocating for higher wages and so on and so forth, right? So you need to get people that have skin in the game, and frankly, again, political will is not enough people have skin in the game for any other issue. So if we could create a world where people, a political movement where people truly understood just how much their lives are affected by politics, and use that energy, I think collective action could be good. But we need to get to that point first. And I don't know how to get to that point. I'm not smart enough. That's where my computational powers end. But if anyone else has ideas, let me know. I'm not going to lie, this is pretty tasty. I'm not much of a honey person. For those wondering, I'm consuming Jack Daniels with honey. I went to the liquor store yesterday and got some fun stuff. Never had it before. I never had Jack Daniels either, for that matter. I've never had that either. So not much of a honey person or a Jack Daniels person. But it's good. I recommend it. Do I think it's unethical to have children at this time? That's a complicated one. I do. I genuinely think it's unethical to create new children at this moment in time. I do. Now, does doing something unethical necessarily make you a bad person? You can make the argument that you weren't informed enough, you didn't know your intentions were good, but hey, they say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? So, but my opinion, and I've said this before on kids, I'm tough on parents. You see one of the most lenient groups of people when people think about our parents, single parents, whatever. I say, fuck that. I was raised by a single parent. I was used as a tool for two parents to attack each other psychologically, right? I say this, if you are not willing to, it doesn't need to be a two-parent household. I think a single parent could do just fine. But if you don't have the money to make it work, then you need to have multiple people in the household. You need to be dead set on having multiple people in the household, right? If you think maybe having a kid might ruin my relationship and I'll be divorced in 5 years and I don't have enough money to raise my kid just by myself, don't have a kid, right? You need to be rock solid on your foundation, because if you're not, your kid is going to have a really fucked up time. I am an example of that. So I'm tough on parents. I think it's almost always unethical to have children in this current era, but I'm not going to necessarily say that people that have children are bad people because they could be ignorant. Now, I would say that they're dumb and they should have done more research or whatever. And then we also have again the stripping of abortion access and rights. So that's a whole fuck mother of a can of worms too, right? So like this changes the calculus a lot for sure. But I hope I answered that. Q-cock! What's the best way to choke someone that says a thing I don't like? It's a good question. Capitalism is so fucked that they talk about moving to Mars instead of fixing what we have here. I agree, and I think it is. I think it is that fucked. I genuinely do. I think if you look at who would be capable of fixing this world, look at the list of people that would be capable of fixing planet Earth. And that list of people is more likely to want to go to Mars or the moon or a spaceship or a space station than they are fixing the world. So I think I'm way behind on the chat, by the way, so I'm going to try to... Did my super chat go through? No, I think you should try it again. When I take music classes or learn an instrument, one of my goals for this year is to learn an instrument. So... and I'm not going to say much more on the subject, but that is something I am looking into doing this year. Comment. If I'm missing anything, by the way, that you wanted me to respond to, feel free to repost. Comment. What do you think the Trumpers will do when Trump dies? Wow. It's going to be like 9/11. I'm not even joking. It's going to be like 9/11. So think about Trumpers and think about how they reacted, personally speaking, to 9/11. They're going to react even more fucked up to Trump dying than they are to 9/11. That's my opinion. I had a dream people were having sex in a fast food restaurant. Oh, whoa. That's fucked up. I had a dream I was cuddling with someone. I knew it was a dream because I know I'll be alone forever. Fuck. I think I have a form of narcolepsy. I dream within minutes of sleep, have sleep paralysis, and I've seen stuff that was happening as I slept that I shouldn't have known about. Dreams are supernatural. I believe that not only do I believe that dreams are supernatural, but I believe that our everyday perception of reality is supernatural. And I'll cap it there for the sake of time. The rest is on Cash App. Whoa. Yo, I spilled coffee all over my desk. So that is to say my phone doesn't have a case on it. So if anyone thinks I have a new phone, it's the same phone. Let me check this Cash App. heart with fire emoji, beer emoji, bone emoji, mushroom emoji, cloud coming from a certain direction emoji, 2 hands making a heart emoji. Thank you, Courtney, for the well-worded contribution. I appreciate it. Max, you're going to get a new toy next week. Holy shit, this dog. Nazi nuts are toxic. I agree. Holy fuck. I'm trying to catch up here. You found out about your transness at the wrong time? Yeah, I started transitioning a long-ish time ago. So I don't... Yeah, I started transitioning in 2017. So I would say, like, I kind of... You know, at the time, being trans was, like, a thing for people to make fun of. Right? But, like, it just kind of started being, like, a legislative thing around that time. You know, like, people loved bullying trans people and gay people. I mean, culturally speaking. But, you know, legislatively, that's when it kind of started. When I started transitioning. I could not even imagine making that decision in the year, like, even in the last 2-3 years. I could not imagine making that decision. It would be very, very difficult to do. Do I think the southern states like Texas will ever secede again and try to form their own country? Not. Do I think they will? It's hard to say. It's hard to say because there is a movement within the Republican Party in Texas that I read some articles about a while ago. That there is a separatist and a secession movement in the Texas GOP. So, like, in the Texas State House. And the Texas Constitution does have a clause that says that they're able to secede with, like, lesser restrictions, whatever, some shit. Now, do I think the U.S. will let them secede? I don't think so. I don't think that will happen. Do I think that they could try everything that they can in Texas to secede? Yes. But I think it would just be a couple... I don't even think they would last a day until the military just stopped that, if it were to actually get to that point. Andrea, your 10-year prediction doesn't seem far-fetched. I would say that the anti-trans stuff we are used to has been going on since the 2013-14 bathroom predator shit, which was a decade ago. Yeah, usually. But again, it's got to wait for enough people to die off and enough people to be born, right? And that doesn't happen quickly, you know? At the end of the day, nobody's minds will be changed by these debates. The only value going on a show like Tim Pool has is to get followers. That's it. Right? Like, if you're going on a right-wing show, there's 2 values. One, to just enjoy talking to a crazy person. It's like, I don't know. You know, I went on a right-wing show a couple days ago. I didn't talk about it on this show because I didn't want to give them any attention. But I did go on a right-wing show a couple days ago, and I just kind of, like, asked them a bunch of questions about, like, the crazy shit they believe, and I don't know, I thought it was funny. So, yeah, like, if you're going on a right-wing show in an attempt to, like, debate someone and change your debate opponent's mind on an issue in real time, that's never going to happen. Like, so the only value is, 1, to just have fun with it, or 2, to gain followers. That's my comments on that. I hope you get invited on Leftist Mafia again. You tell them that. Don't tell me. Oh, boy. I'm in the bring back the Liberty Loop section of the chat. I was talking about that like 10 minutes ago. Fuck. Maybe I'll start a separate channel for it. Because that was one of the things. They would click on the Liberty Loop and then they would see all the rest of my videos. And they'd be like, oh, shit, I got trolled. I should just start a separate channel for the Liberty Loop. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. That's a good idea. Amazon labor union clusterfuck? No, I don't know anything about that. So feel free to fill me in, or I'll look into it later if I remember. JD was my drink of choice for years when I did consume alcohol. Really interesting. When I was heavily addicted to alcohol and tried to kill myself, I would stick to vodka. But now that I've passed that moment in my life, I want to try everything. So I like to get something new every time at this point. I was raised by 2 divorced narcissists, and yeah, they fucked up real bad. Oh, boy. Question, what's the best way to get liberals to realize bipartisan consensus is nonsense and we should just stop pretending the right? There is no way to do that, I don't think. Like, your question is stated, how do we get liberals to realize bipartisan? How do we get liberals to realize that? We don't. But how do we get people who may identify as liberals to realize that? We convert them to leftists. That's how. But I think fundamentally speaking, I think liberalism fundamentally, like, part of that religious mindset, and I call it a religion, is that bipartisan is somehow like a good thing. Bipartisanship is somehow a good thing. I'm getting a little drunk now, by the way. And to be honest with you, I don't, the only way to do that is to change how they perceive the political landscape, in my opinion. Damn, Retro Boomer. That's fucked up. QCOC, will voters start voting GOP in a state like New York because of the homelessness and crime? Yes. The 2022 midterms, New York was responsible for the House of Representatives going to the Republicans. New York, I think, had the biggest Democratic loss out of any state. California was also big, too. So yes, I think New York is trending right, but not necessarily because of the way, because of crime and homelessness. I think it's just because the New York Democrats are so feckless and fucked up that they're not going to do anything to make voting easier. They're not going to do anything to solidify their own power. New York Democrats essentially handed the House of Representatives for the whole country to the Republicans. So the New York Democrats, I think, have a very high chance of fucking shit up. I mean, Kathy Hochul, she like came into office. She could have done literally whenever she wanted. She has decided to be a liberal fucking freak. So she's garbage. Kathy Hochul is trash, right? So it's like, what are you going to do? The leadership of the Democratic Party is calcified in their ways, and they're dead set on losing every election is at all costs. So I do think that New York is trending red. Because Lee Zeldin almost won. I mean, it wasn't actually that far away. You'd think it would be not as close. Autistics are naturally good at music and especially drumming. Now that's interesting information. I will not expound upon that. Clarence Thomas is someone's boy. Past his ruling boy, and he loves it. Hey, I didn't say that. I would never say that, but that just reading someone else's comment. I cuddle with my cats. I want to be alone. I had enough. Lol. Ha 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 ha. Replace cat with dog, and then now we're having a conversation. Every sex dream I have in recent years all turn into, why would you want to hurt me? So nothing happens. Damn, that's fucked up. They'll make Ivanka Trump their next leader to worship. Trump morons want perpetual Trump dynasty. That's the thing. I don't know. Like, Don Jr., you say Ivanka. I think Don Jr. is actively aiming for that, though. Like, Don Jr., literally, have you seen Don Jr.'s shit? Like, I see him pop up every once in a while. He is so bad at pretending to be his dad, but he tries so hard. Like, he does this whole thing. He does the circle hand. He does the pointing, right? He has this. He does this. He does all the same mannerisms and cadence. But there's just something about him that's just like, you can tell it's not working out. So, I don't know, man. Like, that's the thing about the Trump kids, is ultimately they're Trump kids. Like, Trump's kids are not going to be, he pays no attention to them. So what little political skill that Trump has, and he has a lot, okay, we have to understand that political skill, he has a shitload of it. So, but what he does have, I think none of that was passed on to his kids. I am willing to bet that Donald Trump Jr., totality-wise, has seen his dad on a screen more than in person. And the same with all of his kids. I think they have spent more time alone watching videos of their father than actually seeing him in real life. And so it's possible that they'll try to build like a Donald Trump Jr. and an Ivanka Trump thing. I don't know, though. I don't think it's going to last just because they're so bad. Oh boy. Every sex stream I have is with some big old burly man, and then I wake up next to my girlfriend. Holy fuck. Thank you for the comment. Courtney is killing it with the emojis. Courtney is the emoji master. What happened to the low IQ Trump quote usage? I got a new computer 5 months ago. And to be honest with you, my entire sound library is still on the other one. I'm not going to lie. I'm literally that lazy. But it's also, when I started the show in January, every January I like to make a radical shift in the show format. Aesthetically speaking, purely aesthetically speaking. So the format is pretty much the same as it is when I started, but I try to change the aesthetics of the show every January. And the idea I had was to stop doing the sound drop stuff for a little while, because I was setting up the new computer and all that. And to be honest with you, I don't have it on this computer yet. And I could. I mean, my other computer's right there. It's literally just a problem of pressing a couple buttons. If y'all really want the sound drops back, I can bring them back. That's no issue. So I can do that. Have a wonderful break from the news. I'm going to try. We'll see what insights I have. Don't count on it, but I mean, it's possible I'll have some sort of insight and make a video, but I'm not going to read any comments. That's possible. Don't count on it, though. All right, let's get a second cup of this. We're still going. Holy shit. I told y'all, I'm going until I get to the bottom of the chat. So, and I'm going, and you know me, I'm pretty slow. So, I could theoretically, I would say I'll put a hard limit at like 1:30, and it's 12:20 right now. So I don't think I'm going to go that long. But if you want to try to make me go that long, feel free. But if you start like just, asking fake questions, then I'm going to sniff it out. Yeah, I wanted to take this break actually this week, but I decided it would probably be bad to take a break right after going on a show that's way more popular than mine. So when I got invited on the Leftist Mafia, I decided to delay my break by a week. But I'm supposed to be chilling right now. I'm supposed to have done my spirit quest already, and now I'm enjoying the benefits. Instead, I'm sitting here drinking Jack Daniels. So thanks a lot. All right, let's get back here. Big divide in the leadership of people calling out Smalls for neglecting his duties, even fought someone physically, and the vice president was charged for strangling his goof. Yeah, well, that's one thing about unionizing, and I'm not, I got to look into that myself. I'm not just going to base my opinion on a chat message, no offense to Sinkwell. But like, that's the thing with unionizing is oftentimes unions are bottom up. So you just have regular people and yeah, a lot of regular people. I mean, keep in mind, most Americans are fucking stupid. Now, I'm not saying that any of these people are stupid per se, but like the default, right? Like the starting position where you start your political journey, your spiritual journey, right? Where you start that journey is from a position of being a fucking moron, right? And some people start their spiritual journeys or political journeys late in life. Some people start them when they're young. Some people start them when they're 20. Some people start them when they're 30. Some people start them when they're 40, right? And so when you have a lot of baggage, right, in a situation like unions, a lot of people, they start their political journey in the unionization process, right? So there's a lot of people that have baggage and things that they did in their lives before they started this, before they became any sort of position of leadership. And a lot of the times I just have to say, let it slide. But, when it comes to physical violence, that's a problem. And then that leads to a lot of the facts of the matter of protests and movements being broken up, is because fundamentally a lot of people people in general do not do well in groups. And it's strange because we're a social species, but it's like, I see that in a lot, and I've experienced that personally with a lot of the movements and organizations I've worked in, like political campaigns I've been a part of, protest movements I've been a part of, organizations that are not political campaigns that I've been a part of. And I dabbled in that for a while. I'm not active in anything at the moment, but I was active in a lot of things, and I see a lot of the same things that are just like, yeah, like, people don't do well together. People are, again, you can't really expect people at the start of their political journey or spiritual journey to be masters of, and when you have someone that is a union leader and then overnight they basically become a celebrity. Now, again, I'm not, the people in this one, and this is just a totally abstract, yeah, you can have issues like that. And I think as a union, you need to be able to look past them. If the goal of a union is to work for the union, if the leader of the union is not capable of doing it, or they don't have the approval of the overall union, like let's say they're decreasing morale based on whatever, then they need to be replaced, and there needs to be a replacement process that everyone can agree on. It's not an ego thing, right? And so union leaders, often you see a lot of union leaders that have that ego thing. Think about Jimmy Hoffa, right? And that's a big example throughout history of a union leader that had like a fucking ego the size of fucking Seattle, right? And so again, when you're a union leader, you cannot have an ego because, you can, but ultimately that is working against what your job is. And anyway, so there you go. I'm non-binary and would like to get top surgery, and it would be expensive, and it would also increase the size of the target on my back. You can make an argument it would decrease the size of the target on your back when it comes to back pain. Huh? Did I hear the WHO declared the COVID pandemic over? I did not hear that they declared it over, but I did cover their like this. I don't know if they did a second statement, but they did this one statement that's like starting the ball rolling on that. I didn't clip it out. To be honest with you, I have been avoiding clipping out every segment lately. But I didn't clip that one out just because I don't know. As part of me is still a little bit nervous to do COVID in titles and clips. I don't know. But I did see that they're starting we have to live with the virus thing. So if that's what you're talking about, yes, I did see that. I did talk about that at length a couple days ago. Yeah, I mean, the WHO's abandoned us. They're bought and paid for by the IMF. So how did I feel about the Leftist Mafia appearance? I think you did great. They could have done more to leave openings for you to engage. They were so amped. I mean, it's their show, right? This is the thing, and I've been on plenty of these panel shows, because ultimately that's what Leftist Mafia is. It's a panel show. Anything more than 3 people is a panel show. Anything less than 3 people is a podcast. And I put a distinction, podcast and panel show. But the Leftist Mafia is a panel show. And I've been on panel shows before, and I feel like that the Leftist Mafia appearance that I did is about on par with every other panel show I've been on. It's just a different flow. The thing with a panel show is you typically have news stories or you have some overarching plot line. And the thing about a panel show is everyone is trying to get their one-liner in. And this is not just Leftist Mafia. This is every panel show I've ever seen and everyone I've been on, and I've been on plenty. I've been on plenty of panel shows. And it just ultimately it turns into like, it's not a conversation because stream delay combined with just all the other issues. We're talking about news. We're talking about like people from different perspectives. You know, when you have different guests, when you have more than one guest on a show, which is not the case with the Leftist Mafia appearance, but when you have more than one guest on a show, then both, you know, it just turns into essentially everyone's trying to get their little joke in. Everyone's trying to do a one-liner. And this isn't a criticism per se. This is just an observation, right? I've been on plenty of panel shows. Like a podcast, like lesser people, you get more of a conversation. Whereas on a panel show, it's more of, you know, let me chime in to get my clip moment in. Let me chime in to get my quote, my joke in. And I don't do well in that environment. So, you know, I just watch the show. You know, when I'm on a panel show, I'll speak when I feel like I have something good to say. But I have no need or feeling to speak over people, right? So if I feel like someone is doing a good job saying something that I wanted to say, I'll let them have it. And as far as my Leftist Mafia appearance goes, I feel like, you know, on most of the news stories, I feel like they did a good job saying things that I would have said. And so I didn't feel the need to speak too much, you know, but, what are you going to do? I had fun. But yeah, you tell them that. That doesn't sound like a question for me, Anastasia. That sounds like you should be telling them that. But, you know, tell them, like, hey, have a 30-minute guest interview at the start of the show or something, you know. I didn't say it. Oh, you want to know which right-wing show I'm on? I'm not going to tell you. I don't want to give them any viewership, so I'm not going to tell you. Got torrential rage here. What is up? Hopefully you didn't leave because I didn't say hello to you in the first 10 minutes. You see, here's the thing. Soul Life, I should read the comment out loud before I respond, considering I'm so far behind, and for audio-only listeners. Soul Life says, you're not changing their mind. No, but the listeners in an echo chamber might hear something they aren't hearing in the echo chamber. I would put no faith in that. Now, I mean, it is possible. I'm willing to accept that that's possible. That a listener could, but I'm not going to change my behavior based on that possibility. Because I anyone who's watching a right-wing show, they're in this time period that we are living in, they're pretty deep in. They're deep in the mud. If they're watching right-wing shows in the year 2023, they are in quicksand and they are neck deep, okay? So it's like, you know, I wouldn't put any stock in attempting to do that, you know. Promote my Doom channel. Yeah, I may be uploading onto this Doom channel next week. I'm not sure how much Doom I'm going to play, but I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. It's a free donation, helping me get monetized. Why is vodka always the alcoholic liquor of choice? It's cheap and it gets the job done. Question, why is Andrea's Doom Speedrun channel not at 1,000 subs yet? Because this audience is a bunch of fucking uppity pricks. Oh. I'm not going to lie, y'all. I'm a little, This has been going on for like an hour now, so. Drunk off one drink. I'm working on the second one now. And I'm not going to lie, I did a lot of weed yesterday, so I woke up pretty high. So, like, I got a little bit of that, you know, doubling up going on. I guess if I'm going to... you know, just getting a little cross-faded, bro. You know, just doubling up. You know, I'm drinking, I'm smoking, I'm trying to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? You know, we're cross-fading up in this bitch, everybody. So, anyway, it's time to take the uniform off. I just had to get that out. All right. Jesus, fuck mother. Eric Trump? Oh, God, no. He's even worse. Barron is going to be a socialist or Hitler 2.0. I agree. There's no in between. Watch Barron be like a fucking, like, a neoliberal, but like a true believer. You know, like, man, when you really think about it, neoliberal economics is the way to go. Like, that's the ideal Barron Trump future. My kid was so lazy, he left the reason I abused him on his last computer. Jesus Christ, retro boomer. Oh my God, that's like an all-timer. Oh, I shouldn't be laughing, but I am. Yellow Marxism? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man. It's crazy to see a Trump sign in a yard that has a proud union. Yeah, they're just fucking morons, you know? Uh-oh. The queuing and the cocking must be saved for 8 days. Well, I mean, I hope you got a bunch of them. Have you ever watched the movie Nothing But Trouble? Not only have I never watched it, but I've also never heard of it. What predicts success in Western societies in artistic versus extrinsic factors? I don't even know what the fuck that means. Which is the best definition of capitalism? Is it Marx or Weber? I don't care. QCock, will you be doing more artwork drawings and showing them on stream? I'm not sure. I don't know. Two guys from the Vanguard. Yeah, I noticed that the Vanguard is like, they're the new progressive voice, but like with a better format. Like, because progressive voice like went to college and he stopped doing that kind of video. And then the Vanguard started as like some Jimmy Dore dick sucking podcast. Does anyone remember this? If you ask the Vanguard about Force the Vote, I'm sure you might get some like centrist answer from them. That would be funny. But they started as like some Force the Vote, like QAnon Jimmy Dore suckfest. And I noticed that they broke with Jimmy Dore and they've been pretty decent ever since then. But to be honest with you, I don't know anything else about them. That is like the entirety of my knowledge. So back on the Vanguard. The Vanguard's audience was calling Jimmy Dore a leftist like 2 months ago. To be honest with you, I think it's awesome that they recognized that they were a part of a conspiracy theory network and broke it, despite, because they built an audience based on a conspiracy theory, realized it was a conspiracy theory. Now, I'm not sure if they realized that Force the Vote itself was a conspiracy. I'm not sure, actually, to be honest, but I know that they're back off the Jimmy Dore train. But yeah, it's really hard to go against your audience. I mean, it really is. So respect to them for building an audience off of Jimmy Dore and then realizing that that guy is garbage. So I think that that's a good thing. How was the fast? Did it accomplish what you wanted to accomplish? What did I learn from it? I learned a lot, mostly just from reading and during it. Did I accomplish what I wanted to? Not necessarily. But I also didn't really have many goals aside from just doing it. So, but I did skip a couple days in the middle because I had some issues and, so. Does any actual Marxist fit Foucault's description? Yeah, I don't know anything about. Now you're speaking fucking French. Like, come on, Soul Life. Come on, what the fuck? Give me a break here. On a scale from 1 to 10, how fucked up am I? I'm at like a 4? 3, maybe? But I'm planning on jumping up to a 10 within the hour that this QCock ends. So as soon as the QCock ends, plus 1 hour, the goal is to hit a 10. Can I wear an Old West style saloon girl outfit? I mean, I could if you bought it for me. And then paid me additional money to do such a thing. Don't really watch the Vanguard because they seem like they were on a grift. That's the thing, is like, I can see them having been so stupid that they actually fell for it. Baruch H. Right? And that kind of tracks with them dropping Jimmy Dore. is I think it's very possible that they were just extremely stupid when they started their show. And that's fine, you know. I think I'm almost done. Holy shit. Well, I'm not going to a level 10 on drunkenness. I personally view alcohol as a weed enhancer. So? Okay. Well, I've hit the bottom of the chat. Everybody, it's possible I'll do a stream on twitch.tv throughout the weekend if anyone wants to come in and say hello. But starting Monday, I'm going to ghost. And, so don't need me. Don't need me. I hope you don't need me. And if you do, you can watch the VODs. Or, how about this? Play my goddamn fucking games, motherfuckers. Here I am creating wonderful video game experiences. You could do that for the next week. How many people? I'm going to show up on Sunday of next week. How many people are going to be like, oh, I played your game? No one. No one's going to do that because you guys are fucking pricks. By the way, Realon is gifting memberships. Thank you, Realon. Why did I change my channel name? It's about time. Breaking news, CDC director leaving. Fuck him. Thank you, Realon, and thank you, everyone else. I am going to be getting the hell out of here. Thank you all for watching. I do appreciate people that watch my show. Will people still be here when I'm back? Who knows? Right? I mean, probably not, right? The attention span on here, y'all will find a new show to watch. I'm going to show up next time. Going to get like 7 viewers. Where is everybody? Where is everybody?